How are y'all doing today? It's Keaton back with y'all. I wanted to apologize for not getting a couple videos out in the last couple of days. Work schedule has been a little crazy for me, so I didn't get to record anything. But I knew I needed to get one out to y'all today. And today is my birthday. And I promised y'all a video that was going to come out on my birthday. It's not going to be as big as what I wanted it to be, just because I do have to go to work today. So we're just going to do a little vlog, going back in time to some of my fondest memories, just a little bit more about me. That way you do know more about me. I did turn 20 today, and I am beyond grateful for the last 20 years that I have spent on this earth. And I'm ready for many more years to come. Yes, I am an old man now. Can't call myself a teenager no more. I am an adult, as what they would say. But it's whatever. But the first memory I want to share with y'all would be, it'd have to go back to my football days. I played football from the time that, I was old enough to be able to get on that field, and I was old enough that they had a season that I could actually play. I started playing football. I was a quarterback, I was a wide receiver, I was a linebacker, corner, I was the biggest kid, by no means. I was probably one of the smaller ones that was out there on the field. I was 4 foot nothing, 80 pounds soaking wet. As time progressed, I finally got a little bit taller, got about 5'11", 5'10", and, got up to about 215. Then I lost a lot of weight and got back down to my fighting weight, about that 185, one of them ones that I could just box them off, You know what I'm talking about, guys. But, we're going to get into this, and, my football days, I miss them. If I could ever go back and change anything, it'd be protect myself a little bit more, when I was a quarterback, because I would stand in there and I would take the hits that other guys would cringe to take. I'm talking guys double my size. I would stand back there and I would take that hit and get a good play going if it meant I took the hit. And I didn't care about that. That was the thing, I wasn't like all these other guys that, terrified of getting hit. And there's a lot of guys that is like me, but there's a lot of guys that's the opposite way. They don't want to get hit and all that other stuff. It finally boiled down to, pretty much I had a bunch of concussions. I've had broken bones and all that. And just my body, it wasn't up for it. If it would have been up for it, I'd ended up playing all the way through high school, I did stop playing when I was about 7th, 8th grade. For the simple fact of, my body couldn't take it no more. Moving on into the next memory I had would be basketball and baseball. I'm going to combine them two because, I wasn't real great at either one of them. But, I just enjoyed playing it. I could have kept playing them up through high school and all that. But, once I hit high school, I got to the point where I was like, I'd rather have money. I want a truck. I want to do other things. Girls got involved. My basketball, I was never a great shot. I could kind of dribble. I did try out for the high school team, and no, I did not make it. I made the middle school team, and, I really didn't get a lot of playing time, and that just really discouraged me from, playing. And if you do play sports, just because you don't get that playing time like everybody else has, don't let that discourage you and get like me and just kind of give up. Push yourself every practice. Prove yourself in practice. And practice like you would play. That way when you do get in that game, you can actually go out there and show them, hey, this is what you're missing, man. I can do this all day long and it not affect me, it not affect the team. I'm a good team player. It's not all about me when I get on the court. And that was the biggest problem I had was, when I didn't get a lot of playing time, like in basketball, I was getting like 5 minutes of play. That was it. Maybe that. Most games, I would get like a minute or two, and that'd be at the last end. Either we was down so much that we couldn't come back, or we was up so much that they wasn't going to come back. And they've always put their second string in, And that's what I was in basketball. Baseball, I never played it in, at school. I played it, Little League, Rec League is what some of y'all call it. And I pitched just a little bit. I wasn't never no good at pitching. You would think, Hey, he was a quarterback in football. He could pitch a ball. Completely different, man. So I hind catched. And then a lot of times, I played shortstop and I played second base. But a lot of times they put me out there in center field. And the simple fact of why I was on center field, and I strongly believe this, and if you play outfield in any kind of baseball, softball, whatever, don't get discouraged and think you're the worst player on the team, because most of the time, your outfielders are going to be your best all-around players. They can catch the ball and they can throw the ball. My biggest thing was I had an arm. I couldn't pitch, but I had an arm to where I could throw the ball to home plate from center field. I could rocket it to second from center field. I could throw it to third from center field or first. And I could get that ball in. And the way that I was always told, my mom and dad, they coached softball for my sisters. They never coached baseball. But I kind of liked it that way because when you play for your parents, I feel like a lot of people look at you as, you're going to get special treatment. And my parents wasn't like that with my sisters at all. Like, my sisters had to work for where they wanted to be at. But, I like playing for other people. That way, I get the sense of how other people coach their kids and all that. And it really shaped me into the person that I am, all the sports that I played, because it showed me that I had to work hard to get what I wanted, and I had to push myself to the entire limit that I could. And then moving on into, my hunting life, that really shaped me into the person I am today, because, my dad, he taught me a lot while we hunted, how to be a man, all that stuff that your dad teaches you, he taught me while we was hunting. And, my first deer I didn't kill my first deer till I was between 11 and 13, somewhere right in that range, and it was a doe. And I shot it with a 270. Greatest day of my life, I was so excited, I finally put a deer on the ground. I didn't really care what it was, and, me and my dad just got so overwhelmed in the moment that, we was just high-fiving, hugging, man, and it was just a great day to be in the woods. And any time that you hunt, and if you're a big outdoors person like I am, whether I kill something or I don't, I just love being out there. Much rather be out there filming this video right now for y'all, but just, it ain't gonna work out like that today. But then we move on into, my first buck. My first buck, I was 14 or 15. I was done in high school by the time I killed my first buck. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And I didn't kill no spectacular deer whatsoever. At all. He was just a little 8-point that was tiny, man. And he wasn't even the deer that I was watching. I was watching another deer out in the field, and just couldn't get a shot on him. I was still kind of young for hunting, and I was pretty still new into it. New as in me hunting myself. I'd been with my dad since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, man, and spending them times while he was hunting, because I had to wait till I got to a certain age before, I could actually shoot a gun and all that other stuff, because a lot of the guns my dad had and we had was too big. It'd kill me if I tried. My first buck, he come out right beside of us, a spot that I didn't think he would come. And it really surprised me, because he come and I turned my head real slow because I heard something walking up the fence row, and it was a buck. And of course, I tell my dad, don't move, there's a buck right here, I'm about to kill it. And what's he do? He turns his head and goes, hey, what's up, dude? Pretty much. He didn't really say, hey, what's up, but he was like, turning like, having a full-on conversation with this deer. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm trying to kill this thing. You're going to scare it off. You need to shut up. I'm trying to do this. Dude, hey, you mind your business over there, boy. I'm going to try to do this myself. And the deer finally, he wouldn't ever let me get my gun around to where I could actually get a shot on him while he was broadside. So, when he started to walk away, he put his butt towards us. He didn't act spooked, nothing. He just wasn't going to go in that field no more because he had seen something, and that was us, that he didn't like. He didn't exactly know what we were, but he wasn't going to chance it. And if you deer hunt, you know that deer are real particular on if they see something, they ain't going to go nowhere near it. And the shot that I put on was incredible because I put it right over his back quarters, right into the sweet spot where he's supposed to put it. He ran like 5 yards, and the only reason why he went a little bit farther than 5 yards is because he slid down the hill. And I did get a little gun hole on that deer, and I jumped up and took off running after him. And, I probably should have not done that. But I did get to see him fall. And that was great. That was the awesomest moment of my life, Me and my dad, like I said, when I killed my first deer, we got caught up in that moment, and dude, it felt like it was forever. We probably had to stare down with that deer for probably 30 minutes or more. It felt like, and it probably was only like 10 minutes, but it felt like it took forever for that deer to ever let me get a shot on him. Whether it had been a good shot or not, it took forever, it felt like. Then we move on to not even me hunting. My dad was hunting, and I was with him, and my dad, he hardly ever killed bucks, and when he did, they wasn't nothing spectacular. But he also, taught me, don't be picky. And that was because we was putting food on the table. Now, if you're not putting food on the table, be sure you're donating that meat. Like with me, every deer I kill, it'll go in the freezer and it'll eventually get eaten. Whether it's in roast, deer jerky, whatever. But the way I was raised is you don't kill it unless you're going to eat it. And you'll see on this channel, the more we get into hunting and stuff, the stuff that I won't eat, I'll just rehome. I'll take him away from if it's a coon, something like that, I'll take him away from where I want him, give him to somebody, do something with him. But if I'm not going to eat him, I'm not going to kill it. And that's just the way I was raised, and that's the way I will uphold myself for the rest of the time that I'm on this earth. And I will enforce that into my kids, and all that. But, he killed this little deer with a muzzleloader. And, if you've ever shot a deer with a muzzleloader, unless they're really close, you don't get a blood trail, a really good one. But he made a really good shot on this deer, and, it's just one of them times where I was just excited for him because it had been so long since he'd killed a buck, I was like, dude, this is so great. And for some reason that day, I didn't video it. And that would have been the greatest video I'd ever videoed because, it was my dad, and it was just something that me and him enjoyed to do together. And now that I'm older and he's moved down a little ways away from us, we don't get to do that much. So I started going to Illinois when I was a junior in high school, roughly. Started going there. I've been going to Illinois for, this will be my 4th or 5th year. I have to think back and figure all that out. But I went up there the first year. The first season, I didn't kill nothing. And the guy that I go with, he's a really great guy. He takes care of me like his own, And he didn't kill one either. So we decided we was going to go back later on when that next season come in, which was in December. We went November, and the next season come in December. So we went back, I don't think he ended up killing one. I'm not real for sure. I can't remember real good back that far. But I ended up killing one. Granted, no dandy at all. Like this deer, it was the last day up there. Literally, last second of shooting light, and I had 15 deer come out in front of me. And it was the only deer I'd seen all the whole time we had been up there. And, I was like, alright, I'm gonna take it, dude. I ain't gonna eat this tag because it does cost a lot of money to go up there. And, I pulled the trigger, and it ended up being just a little bitty doe, Meat did get eat. We ate it. And, all that good stuff. The next year we went, it was just me, the guy I go with, and his dad. We went, and they both killed 2 good bucks. Nothing to be ashamed of. Really good ones. And so they let me hunt their stands. And that year, I did do all the scouting for them. I had cameras up there, and I'd go up there every so often and check them. And we had a really good 6-pointer on camera, and then we had a deer at my spot that, I ain't gonna lie to you when I say, I don't know how big he was. I would start counting points, and I'd lose count. And I missed both of them deer. I'm not gonna lie. I missed them. Flat out. Didn't touch them. Nothing. And it was last day, and I missed the big 6. And we went back to my spot, because up there it's nothing but crop fields, so they're big open fields that you can see for miles and miles. And when we pulled up in my spot, there was a little 8-point that I'd let walk a couple times before that. And up there, you have to use shotguns. Keep that in mind. So you have to get closer than you would with a rifle because you can't shoot as far. So I thought, but we got out of the truck, snuck up on him, got to where I could get a shot, and they ranged him, and they wouldn't tell me how far he was. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared of my shotgun that I take up there. It's a 12 gauge. It kicks like a mule, and I hate to admit that I'm scared of a gun, but I am scared of that gun in particular because of that reason. But anyways, on with the story. He wouldn't tell me how far he was. I shot and missed, and this deer took about 2 steps and stopped again. And I kid you not when he looked at me in the eyes and said, "Put it out of his rack." And what I was doing when I shot, instead of holding it steady like this, I was pulling it down. And I was pulling it down, and it was making my shot go from being perfect to hitting the ground in front of him. And that's what I was doing. And I kid you not, when I say he told me, put it at the tip of his rack and pull the trigger. And I kid you not, I literally put my crosshairs in between his rack at the very tip top. And when I shot, I pulled it down to where it was supposed to be. And I shot this deer, and I kid you not when I say he was not the biggest deer, but I'm talking 256 yards with a shotgun. And that's no lie. I promise y'all, 256 yards with a shotgun, and I put the smack down on him. Then we fast forward into this year. Or no, I'm going to go back to 2 seasons ago. I killed my first good buck, and I killed it in Kentucky. I killed it with a rifle. It was the last deer I killed with a rifle. And he was just a little deer, not a little deer, but he scored about 125. And if you don't know what scoring is, they measure the width of the bases, which is what comes out of the top of their head, and they measure their main beams, which is the beam that comes around and loops around, and they measure their tine length, which is each point that sticks up through the rack. And there is deductions on that. So let's say one side's heavier than the other side, which is thicker than the other side, or 1 point's longer than one side, or whatever. You take in consideration all that, and you take points off for it, so it takes your score from being a higher score to being a lower score. Then we go into this year. This year I decided, I'm bow hunting. I don't want to get a rifle out, but if I got to, I will. And I'd been with the same girl for a little bit. She wanted to go hunting. She'd never been hunting. So I had a crossbow. I was like, all right, we'll get this crossbow set up for you. We'll get you a deer. Crossbow flew apart about a week before season. I go in panic mode because I don't want her to have to wait till gun season. I go and I find her a compound bow. And I'm telling you, this girl flat out shoot that bow better than anybody. I'm talking just put them on top of each other, whatever. Opening morning, she misses one. Y'all seen that video. That 8-point, I don't know if you could tell if he's 8-point, whatever, but it was my fiance. She missed that deer. That first video I posted of her bow hunting, she missed it. And then 2 days later, I killed my Big 10. I've not got that mount yet, or I'd go ahead and show y'all. I get it back in October, so expect a video on that. I killed my 10-point at 25 yards. He ran 75 and was done. And he was a jack, man. The biggest deer I've ever killed. Probably going to be one of the bigger deer I ever killed. But every animal that I ever kill, I eat. No animal that I take out am I not going to eat. Because of the simple fact of that's how I was raised. Unless you're going to eat it, you don't kill it. And then we're going to go on into just regular life, everyday, day-to-day. Things that I remember that stick out to me is the friends that I made throughout the years. Some of mine from high school I'm not real close with anymore, but if I see them around, I'm still going to talk to them. The experiences I went through throughout high school up until now really shaped me into, the person I am. I've been living on my own since I was about a month before I turned 18. I was still 17. I'm not gonna say I was full blown 17 whenever I started out on my own, but I was pretty close. I was still 17, but I was about to turn 18. And it's rough. It's rough living on your own. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy, and don't ever think it's easy because it is rough. Because you don't have that stable place that you. As long as you ain't got to pay a dime to live there. Once you get on your own, it starts costing a lot of money, and you realize real quick that food ain't cheap, and especially if you eat like I do. Food ain't cheap, guys. I'm telling you, it's expensive. But best way to do it, whenever I finally got out on my own and got me a place, I found a buddy of mine to, go in with me, and, we lived together for a while, and it was great. We got along. We worked a little bit different schedules, so we didn't see each other a lot, and I think that helped a lot because, there wasn't a lot of time we was together, because they say if you live with a friend of yours, have that time where you're apart. That way, you're not getting on each other's nerves all the time. But, it was a great experience. Now I've got a fiance. I've got a house, not an apartment. I've got a house. And life's good, Me and my fiance, we do have our ups and downs every day, Everybody has them days where it's just not a good day. But we got 2 awesome dogs. I've had one since, before I got out of my mom's house. And then I bought her a dog, which that dog's become mine because, I'm just a dog guy. And, dogs love me. But Oakley and Diesel are the names. Australian Shepherd and a Blue Heeler. And they're perfect dogs. They do have their days where they're a little ornery and they get on my nerves. But, hey, that's every animal. We've got a farm. I'm wanting to say close to 80 cows right now, unless we've picked up a couple more that I don't know of off the top of my head. And then we've got calves, of course. But, man, life's good. Over the last 20 years of my life, man, there's not a day goes by that I don't reminisce on the days where, I was a kid and I could just, not have nothing to worry about. But, today was just a little vlog, I just wanted to let y'all know a little bit more about me, let y'all get to know me a little bit more. Yes, I'm going to start cranking videos out real hard in the next couple days. Expect to see a couple more bow shooting videos just for the simple fact I'm going to teach y'all a little bit about it. Yes, I'm not the greatest teacher, and I use a lot of hand movements, but I'm going to teach y'all a little bit about bow hunting, and whenever I start setting stands, I'll help y'all to learn how to pick a spot on where you should set up, what you should look for, especially if you're in a place where you can't feed. Like here, I can feed, so I can actually bring the deer to where I want them. And the spots where you can't feed, you have to set up accordingly to where the deer is going to be moving. Trails, fence rows, crop fields, stuff like that is what nut trees, acorn trees, white acorns. Oh man, that's a spot to be. And even here, when the acorns start falling, you ain't gonna see many deer. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. Leave me a comment down below because I will go through and I will like and heart every one of them that is on there. And if it's something that catches my eye, I'll shout you out on the next video. I didn't have a lot of comments on the last video when I said I was going to shout out some people. I will shout out my little cousin Landon. He shouted me out on his Instagram, and he even commented on there and said, "Hey, I'm going to shout you out." That cool? Yeah. Y'all want to shout me out, shout me out. Just tell him, hey, go check out Keaton Paul on YouTube. He's cranking out videos, and if they like this kind of stuff, man, we'll keep doing it. I'm gonna continue to put out videos no matter what. We are sitting at I think 16 subscribers right now. By the end of the week, I'd like to sit at 20 because today is my 20th birthday. That's what I want from y'all. I wanna sit at 20 subscribers by the end of the week. That is today. We'll go till Saturday. By Saturday, I want 20 subscribers. If that is all possible, 19, I'll be happy. If we can get over 20, hey, let's get over 20. Let's go, guys. Get the word out. Like I said, like and subscribe for more content. Turn on the post notifications and leave me a comment down below, and I will catch y'all on the next one.